What are the best all-rounders when it comes to trail running shoes? We've been assessing all the latest options out there and we've come up with our 5 favourites that we absolutely love. Now here at Outdoors Magic, we make sure that we actually get our hands on gear and get out and test it for you. Not only have we got our staff reviewers, but we work with a range of people based throughout the UK who are part of our test team, and all of the pictures you'll see here are from our own test trips. Long story short, you can trust what we're saying here. The trail shoes we've selected here are the ones that we deem the best all-rounders, offering the right balance between weight, grip, stability, ride, speed and performance. But bear in mind that most of the ones pictured here will be the men's versions, but they're all available in women's versions too. First up, we've got the Arcteryx Nordic LD2. Now at 260 grams per shoe, these things are nice and light and they bring plenty of ventilation too. But they don't skimp on all the other stuff. They're still cushioned, the 3.5mm lugs provide a decent amount of grip, and there's a sizable rock plate to block out the sharp stuff underfoot. The LD in the name, that stands for long distance, and these definitely are a pair I'd want to be wearing if I had to take on anything over a marathon distance and on varied terrain. Next, the Sportiva Caracal. Now this is a shoe that's made with race training in mind, so it brings a lot of cushioning and a comfortable fit, especially at the toes, just in order to allow you to run medium to long distances without your feet getting beaten up before race day. At 290 grams per shoe, the Caracal is still pretty light. The drop is pretty standard too at 7mm, and the 3.5mm lugs bring a good amount of traction too. Bear in mind that these bring a lot of breathability and ventilation, so they're more of a warm weather trail running shoe than a cold weather one. Another La Sportiva shoe I'd recommend, by the way, is the La Sportiva Mutant. That performed amazingly well for me when I conducted a test to find the grippiest trail running shoes. This is the Ultra Timp 1.5. Now this has a larger toe box compared to other running shoes, with the idea being that it allows for space for your feet when they start to swell as you begin to log the miles in. This wider design is also said to let your big toe sit straighter in the shoe, meaning that you'll be able to fully apply its strength when toeing off. In keeping with Ultra's typical style, it's a zero-drop sole unit, meaning that both the heel and toes are the same distance from the ground. This makes their shoes suited to those who prefer a more natural feel when running. It's a case of each to their own with this kind of thing, but still, if you struggle with injury in those areas and haven't tried zero-drop shoes yet, particularly those by Ultra, they're worth considering. The OnCloud Ultra. Now this is On's first ultra trail specific shoe, meaning it's made with big mileage in the mountains in mind. It's a tongue twister. It feels light, comfortable and fast, and it's got a real rock to it, so you feel like you're being propelled along the trail. The midplate is pretty stiff, so it blocks out rocks and roots well, but it doesn't entirely remove the feel for the trail underfoot, which is a good thing. The downside, I guess, is probably the amount of grip. You get enough for well-worn, mostly dry trails, but on steep, muddy slopes, you'll probably want something with a deeper set of lugs. On's other shoe, the Cloud Venture, would fit the bill perfectly there. Next, we've got the Adidas Terrex Speed Ultra. At 245 grams per shoe, this sits in the featherweight category, but it still packs a good deal of cushioning and rebound for long mileage over hard packed ground. The midsole fuses Adidas's softer and more comfortable boost foam at the rear and their firmer, more responsive light strike foam at the front. And this guarantees a great mix of responsiveness, stability and comfort over long distances. At 2.5mm, the lugs aren't particularly deep and therefore these aren't really grippy enough for a day running through slop, but they'll come into their own on any drier stuff. Okay, so we've got the Arcteryx Nordic LD, the La Sportiva Caracal, Ultra Timp 1.5, OnCloud Ultra and the Adidas Terrex Speed Ultra. That's our top 5, but we've also got a written guide to our top 10 over on our website outdoorsmagic.com. I've stuck a link down below for that. If you found this helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. That would be very handy. And thanks very much for watching. Catch you next time.